Olivia Martinez stared at the rejection message on her tablet and tried not to cry. Not here. Not in the busy lobby of the Xeraxian Medical Research Center with its high ceilings and cold blue lights. She could feel the four-eyed stares of the receptionist burning into her back. "Thank you for your interest," the message read. "Your qualifications do not meet our current needs." Olivia knew this was a lie. She had a master's degree in xenobiology. She had 5 years of lab experience before Maya was born. What she didn't have was the ability to work 18-hour shifts or live on site like the aliens preferred. She stood up slowly, tucking her tablet into her worn bag. Outside, New Denver's skyline glowed with the purple and green signs of alien businesses. 15 years since first contact, and humans were still at the bottom of the ladder. They got the cleaning jobs, the food service jobs, the jobs no self-respecting alien would take. A sharp beep from her watch reminded Olivia she had exactly 27 minutes to get across town for her shift at Joe's Diner. It was her second job of the day. The morning had been spent stocking shelves at Quickmart. After the diner, she would head to night cleaning at the spaceport. 3 jobs, and she still struggled to pay rent on their tiny apartment. The air tram was crowded with evening commuters, mostly humans, heading to night shifts. Olivia grabbed a hanging strap and checked her messages. The babysitter had sent a photo of Maya working on her science project, a model of Xeraxian anatomy that made Olivia's heart ache. At 10 years old, Maya already showed the same passion for alien biology that had drawn Olivia to the field. What example was she setting for her daughter, working herself to exhaustion and still getting nowhere? The tram stopped with a jolt and Olivia hurried out. Joe's Diner sat on the corner, its neon sign flickering. Inside, the smell of fried food and coffee hit her as she rushed to the back room to change. "You're late, Martinez," said Frank, the manager. "By 2 minutes," Olivia replied, tying her apron. "That's 2 minutes of my time you're wasting." Frank crossed his arms. "One more late arrival and I'm cutting your hours." Olivia bit her tongue. She couldn't afford to lose any shifts. The dinner rush kept her moving nonstop for 4 hours. Most customers were humans, but a table of Prill merchants left a mess of their special sauce all over booth 7. The sauce hardened like cement, if not cleaned immediately. "Hey, Earth Girl," one of the Prill called as she scrubbed. "My drink is empty." Olivia forced a smile and took his glass. The Prill had 4 arms and could easily reach the drink station themselves, but they never did. At 10 p.m., her feet aching, Olivia finally clocked out. She had 45 minutes to get home, check on Maya, change clothes, and head to the spaceport for cleaning duty. The apartment was quiet when she unlocked the door. The babysitter, Mrs. Chen from upstairs, was reading on the couch. "Maya went to bed at 8:30, she whispered. "She finished her science project." "Thank you," Olivia said, handing over payment for the evening. More than she could afford, but Mrs. Chen was the only sitter who would work with her chaotic schedule. Olivia tiptoed into Maya's small bedroom. Her daughter slept peacefully, her dark curls spread across the pillow. On her desk sat the completed Xeraxian anatomical model, surprisingly accurate for a child's work. Beside it lay Maya's school tablet, open to a career planning page. Xenobiologist was circled in bright colors. The next morning came too soon. Olivia's alarm buzzed at 5:30 a.m., and her body ached as she rolled out of bed. She had managed just 4 hours of sleep after the spaceport cleaning shift. She shuffled to the kitchen and started the coffee maker. Real coffee, not the synthetic stuff. It was her one luxury. As the rich smell filled the small apartment, Olivia checked her messages. Another rejection had arrived overnight from the Centaurian Biological Institute. "Mom, is it morning already?" Maya appeared in the doorway, rubbing her eyes, still in her star-patterned pajamas. "Yes, sweetie. I need to go to Quickmart soon. Mrs. Chen will come at 7 to take you to school." Maya sat at their small table. "Can I come to work with you someday? To a real lab, I mean?" Olivia's chest tightened. "One day. I promise." After a quick breakfast, Olivia dressed in her Quickmart uniform. She kissed Maya goodbye and rushed out to catch the early air tram. The morning shift went by in a blur of stocking shelves and checking inventory. At noon, Olivia's supervisor let her take a break to attend another job interview. This one was at Galactic Health Solutions, an Arcturian-owned research facility. The Arcturian interviewer, with its translucent skin and vibrating antenna, asked the same questions she'd heard a dozen times before. Then came the familiar turn. "Your qualifications are adequate," the alien said through its translator. "But we notice gaps in your work history." "I was raising my daughter," Olivia explained. "Ah, yes, your offspring." The Arcturian's antenna twitched. "Our work schedule requires flexibility. Employees must be available for extended research cycles. I can arrange childcare for regular shifts, but thank you for your time, Ms. Martinez. We will contact you if suitable positions arise." Olivia knew what that meant. No call would come. With 30 minutes before she needed to return to Quickmart, Olivia stopped at a small cafe in the building's lobby. She could not afford the overpriced drinks, but she needed somewhere to sit and update her job search list. As she pulled out her tablet, her eyes blurred with fatigue. The tablet slipped from her fingers and clattered to the floor, along with her folder of certificates and recommendation letters. "Let me help you with that," a deep voice said. A man knelt beside her, gathering her scattered papers. He was in his 40s, with salt and pepper hair and laugh lines around his eyes. His clothes were simple but well made. A navy blue suit, without the flashy elements that humans often wore to impress aliens. "Thanks," Olivia said, embarrassed. "It's been a long day." "I can see that." He handed her the papers but paused as he glanced at her xenobiology degree. "You studied under Dr. Ellis at Pacific University?" Olivia nodded, surprised. "Yes. Do you know her?" "She's brilliant, especially her work on cross-species viral transmission." He held out his hand. "I'm Gregory Harper, Olivia Martinez." He looked at her Quickmart badge, then back at her credentials. "Something doesn't add up here. Why is someone with your background working retail?" Olivia gave a tired laugh. "Because no research facility wants a single mom who can't work 20-hour shifts." Instead of the usual awkward sympathy, Gregory's eyes lit up with interest. "Their loss, potentially my gain." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a business card. "Terran Solutions. We're small but growing, and we're working on something that could use your expertise." Olivia took the card cautiously. She had learned not to get her hopes up. "Come by tomorrow at 2 p.m., Gregory said. "It's not an interview, just a tour and a chat. Bring your daughter if you need to." Olivia stared at him. "Bring my daughter? Why not? We have kids around sometimes." He smiled. Not all humans buy into the alien way of doing business. Before she could respond, his communication device beeped. "I have to run. Tomorrow at 2? Olivia nodded, still stunned. "I'll be there." As Gregory walked away, Olivia looked down at the business card. A human-owned biotech company? It seemed too good to be true. Yet for the first time in months, she felt a tiny spark of hope. Olivia felt her eyes sting. She hadn't just failed herself. She was failing Maya by showing her that dreams didn't matter, that humans would always be second class in this new galactic order. She leaned down and kissed her daughter's forehead. "I'll find a way," she whispered. "I promise." 20 minutes later, Olivia was back out the door, heading to her night job, wondering how many more rejections she could take before she gave up completely. Olivia stood outside a plain warehouse building in the West District of New Denver. She checked the address on the business card again. This didn't look like any research facility she had ever seen. She had taken time off from Quickmart, making up an excuse about a doctor's appointment. If this was a waste of time, she would lose 4 hours of pay for nothing. A small sign next to the door read, "Terran Solutions," in simple letters. No flashy hologram or alien script like most businesses used. Olivia pressed the entry button. The door slid open and Olivia stepped into a space that looked nothing like the outside. The inside was bright and modern, with clean white walls and warm lighting. A young woman with bright red hair sat at the front desk. "Olivia Martinez?" the woman asked with a smile. "Gregory said you'd be coming. I'm Allison, the office manager." Nice to meet you. Let me take you to him. He's excited that you came. They walked through an open work area where about 15 people worked at various stations. Olivia noticed something odd. Pictures of children and families sat on several desks. In alien companies, personal items were forbidden as distractions. Gregory Harper appeared from a side room. Olivia, glad you could make it. He shook her hand firmly. Let me show you around. As they walked, Gregory explained his company. We started 3 years ago with just 5 people. Now we have 22 employees, all human. We focus on biotech solutions that work for both human and alien physiologies. How do you compete with the alien corporations? Olivia asked. They have so much more money and technology. Gregory smiled. They think too much alike and they underestimate us. That's our advantage. He led her into a large lab where several people worked with advanced equipment. A woman carefully adjusted a microscope while a man typed data into a computer. This is our main project, Gregory said. We're developing a universal vaccine delivery system. Olivia couldn't hide her surprise. That's incredibly complex. The differences between species are significant, yes, but not impossible to work around. A door at the far end of the lab opened and Olivia froze. A small group of children walked by, led by an older woman. Maya would be the same age as some of them. Gregory noticed her expression. That's our on-site childcare. Most of us have kids, it's why we built it into the facility. I've never seen that in any research company. That's because aliens don't understand why we care so much about our children. They see it as inefficient. Gregory shrugged. We see it differently. They continued the tour, ending in Gregory's simple office. He gestured for her to sit. So, here's the deal, Olivia. We need someone with your background in cross-species biology. I've looked at your credentials and you have exactly the expertise we need for project synthesis. Olivia tried to stay calm. What would the position involve? Research and development on our delivery system. Standard shifts 9 to 5 with flexibility when needed. The pay is competitive. And what about... Olivia hesitated. Your daughter? What's her name? Maya. She's 10. Gregory smiled. Maya would be welcome in our childcare program. Several employees bring their kids every day. Some come after school. Olivia's mind raced. This couldn't be real. Why would you hire me when no one else will? Because I built this company specifically to hire brilliant people the aliens won't touch. Gregory leaned forward. Single parents, people with disabilities, older workers. The aliens think we're making ourselves weak by hiring you. I think we're getting the best talent in the city. He slid a tablet across the D1 month into her new job at Terran Solutions. Olivia still woke up each morning expecting it all to be a dream. But it was real. A job using her actual skills with decent hours and pay that covered the bills without working herself to exhaustion. Best of all was Maya's reaction. Mom, this place is amazing, she had said after her first day in the company. Childcare. They have real science equipment for kids. Today, Olivia arrived early. She had an idea about the vaccine delivery system she couldn't wait to test. The security system recognized her, and the doors slid open automatically. Morning. Olivia, called Ben from the front desk. Unlike Allison, he was a morning person. Morning, Ben. Is Dr. Patel in yet? In Lab 2 already. Something about testing those new nanobots. Olivia hurried to her workstation. She dropped off her bag and changed into her lab coat. The main laboratory was already busy with early workers. Screens displayed complex molecular structures and data streams. Dr. Kira Patel looked up from her microscope. Olivia, good, you're here early. I was about to call you. I had an idea about modifying the lipid shell to adapt better to Xeraxian body temperature. Great minds think alike. But first, Gregory wants us in the conference room. The whole project. Synthesis team. Olivia followed Kira to the large glass-walled room where 8 other team members were already gathered. Gregory stood at the front, his face serious. Thanks for coming quickly, he said as everyone settled. I've received some troubling news from our sources in the Galactic Trade Commission. Draxon Corp has accelerated their timeline. They're claiming they'll have a working prototype in 3 months. Murmurs spread through the room. Their own projections put them at least 5 months from completion. "How did they advance so quickly?" asked Keith Winters, the senior biochemist. "That's the concerning part," Gregory replied. "Their approach is remarkably similar to ours, too similar to be coincidental." The implication hung in the air. Someone might be sharing their research. "What does this mean for us?" Olivia asked. "It means we need to work faster and smarter." Gregory pulled up a display showing a complex molecular structure. "This is what we know about their delivery system. Our advantage is still our adaptive approach." He turned to Olivia. "Olivia, Kira, tells me you've been working on a modification to the lipid shell." Surprised at being put on the spot, Olivia nodded. "Yes, it's a way to make the nanobots adjust to different body temperatures automatically. Xeraxians run hot, Prill run cold. One system could work for both. That's exactly the kind of thinking we need. I want you to lead that aspect of the project." Olivia blinked. "Lead? But I've only been here a month. And you've already proven yourself." Gregory's confidence in her was clear. "Keith will assist. You with resources. We need this breakthrough." After the meeting, Olivia returned to her lab station, her mind racing. The responsibility was enormous, but so was the opportunity. She pulled up her research notes and got to work. Hours later, deep in calculations, she felt a tap on her shoulder. She looked up to see Maya standing there with Judy, the childcare coordinator. "Sorry to interrupt," Judy said. "School let out early for teacher training. Maya wanted to see what you were working on." "I finished all my homework," Maya added quickly. "Can I stay and watch? In any alien lab, this would be unthinkable." But Gregory walked by just then and smiled. "Future scientist visiting?" he asked. "Why not set her up at the observation desk? We could use another bright mind." As Maya settled in with a junior tablet that could display simplified versions of the molecular models, Olivia felt a surge of gratitude. Here she wasn't just a scientist or just a mother. She could be both. That evening, as they walked home together, Maya looked up at her. "Mom, you look happy when you're working, not tired like before." Olivia squeezed her daughter's hand. "I am happy. And you know what? I think we're going to make something amazing at this place. This is our offer. Take a few days to think about it." Olivia looked at the salary figure and benefits package. Her hands trembled slightly. "One last thing," Gregory added. "We're working against a deadline. A Draxon corporation is trying to develop the same technology. They have more resources, but we have better people. Or we will, if you join us." For the first time in years, Olivia felt like a scientist again, not just a struggling mother. "I don't need a few days," she said. "When can I start?" 2 weeks after taking over the temperature adaptation project, Olivia faced her first real challenge. Maya woke up with a high fever and could not go to school or the company childcare. "I'm sorry, Ms. Martinez, but we can't accept sick children," Judy explained over the phone. "It's for the safety of the other kids." Olivia understood, but panic rose in her chest. She had an important test scheduled today. In her old jobs, this would mean calling in sick and losing a day's pay, or worse, risking her position. With shaking hands, she called Kira. "My daughter is sick. I can't come in today." There was a pause, and Olivia held her breath. "No problem," Kira said. "We can set you up to monitor the test remotely. I'll send Ben over with a secure tablet and the equipment you need." "Really? You'd do that?" "Of course. Gregory always says the work can adapt to our lives, not the other way around." An hour later, Ben arrived with a portable workstation. While Maya slept in the next room, Olivia set up the equipment on her kitchen table. The screens linked directly to the lab, where Kira and 2 assistants had prepared the test samples. "We're ready when you are," Kira's voice came through the speaker. Throughout the day, Olivia moved between caring for Maya and directing the lab work. She adjusted parameters remotely, analyzed results, and even joined a team video meeting, all while making soup and checking her daughter's temperature. By evening, Maya's fever had broken and the test results looked promising. The modified lipid shell was responding to temperature changes exactly as Olivia had predicted. When Gregory called to check in, Olivia expected a brief conversation. Instead, he asked detailed questions about both the test results and Maya's condition. "Take tomorrow off if she's still not well," he said. "The work will wait." The next day, Maya felt better, but still needed rest. Olivia worked from home again, this time analyzing the data from yesterday's tests. Around noon, there was a knock at her apartment door. She opened it to find Keith Winters standing there holding a package. "Delivery from the lab," he said with a smile. "Kira sent over some new samples and equipment. She thought you might want to continue your work." Olivia invited him in, a bit self-conscious about her small apartment. Keith was the most senior scientist on the team and had worked with Gregory since the company started. "Nice place," he said, looking around. "Reminds me of where I lived when my kids were young." "You have children?" Olivia asked, surprised. Keith had never mentioned family. 2 boys. They're in college now. He spotted a drawing on the refrigerator, Maya's rendering of a Xeraxian circulatory system. "Your daughter did this?" "It's quite accurate. She wants to be a xenobiologist. Smart kid." Keith helped set up the new equipment. "You know, before Gregory started Terran Solutions, places like Draxon would never hire parents for research positions. They said we were distracted by external priorities." "That's what the Arcturians told me," Olivia said. "Ironic, since becoming a parent made me a better scientist. You learn to solve problems creatively when you're raising kids." Keith's expression darkened slightly. "We should be careful, though. The aliens still don't take us seriously, which works in our favor. But some of them are starting to notice our progress." After Keith left, Olivia thought about his warning. She moved to the window and looked out at the new Denver skyline, where alien corporate towers loomed over human neighborhoods. 2 months into leading the temperature adaptation project, Olivia made her breakthrough. Her modified nanobots could now adjust to the body temperatures of 5 different alien species, from the ice-cold Prill to the burning hot Xeraxians. "It works," she exclaimed, watching the data stream across her monitor. The shell reconfigures, in each environment without breaking down. The lab team gathered around her station. Kira examined the results and broke into a wide smile. "Olivia, this is exactly what we needed. We're now at least 2 steps ahead of Draxon's approach." Gregory called an immediate meeting to discuss the results. The conference room filled with excited chatter as Olivia presented her findings. For the first time since joining the company, she felt completely confident. This was her work, her success. "With this adaptation system, we can create a universal delivery method for vaccines across species," she explained. "No more separate formulations for each alien physiology." Gregory nodded, his face showing both approval and relief. "This could change everything, not just for our company but for interspecies medicine." After the meeting, people stopped by Olivia's station to congratulate her. Even Keith, who rarely showed emotion, seemed impressed. "Good work, Martinez," he said quietly. "Gregory was right about you." Later that evening, after most staff had gone home, Olivia stayed to run one final test. Maya was at a friend's house for dinner, giving her a rare extra hour at work. As she waited for the test results, Olivia decided to organize her digital files. She needed to share some data with Keith for his part of the project. Opening the company database, she navigated to the shared folder. Something caught her eye, a hidden subfolder titled External Reports. Curious, she clicked on it. Inside were copies of their research data, reformatted and labeled for Draxon Corporation. Olivia's heart began to pound. Someone was passing their work to the competition. She scrolled through the files, noting dates and times. The most recent file had been added just yesterday, a complete report on her temperature adaptation breakthrough. A noise behind her made her jump. She quickly closed the folder and turned around. Keith stood in the doorway. "Working late?" he asked casually. Olivia tried to keep her voice normal. "Just finishing up some tests." "Good results?" He moved closer to her station. "Very promising." She turned back to her screen. pretending to check data while her mind raced. Should she confront him? Tell Gregory? What if she was wrong? Keith leaned over her shoulder. Anything interesting in the database? Had he seen what she was looking at? Olivia forced a smile. Just organizing my files before heading home. Smart. Keith straightened up. Be careful with the company data, Olivia. Security is important. Was that a threat? She couldn't tell from his neutral expression. Of course, she replied. I take security very seriously. Keith nodded and left the lab. Olivia waited a few minutes, her hands shaking, before copying the hidden folder to her secure drive. She needed proof before making any accusations. On her way home, Olivia's mind whirled with questions. Why would Keith betray the company? He had been with Gregory from the beginning. Could she have misunderstood what she saw? Maya was waiting at the neighbor's apartment, full of stories about her evening. Olivia tried to focus on her daughter's excited chatter, but the discovery weighed heavily on her mind. Later, after tucking Maya into bed, Olivia sat at her kitchen table and opened her secure drive. The evidence was clear. Someone had been sending their research to Draxon for months, someone with high-level access to all project data. Only 5 people had that kind of access: Gregory, Kira, Keith, the head of IT, and now Olivia herself. Tomorrow, she would have to decide what to do. Accuse a senior colleague of corporate espionage? Risk her new job if she was wrong? Stay silent and watch their hard work be stolen? Olivia stared at the screen, torn between loyalty to the company that had given her a chance and fear of losing everything she had gained. For the first time in years, she didn't feel small beneath them. When Maya came out of her room, feeling much better, she found her mother surrounded by scientific equipment on their kitchen table. Are you doing your important work at home? Maya asked, amazed. Yes, Olivia said. At Terran Solutions, I can be both a scientist and your mom. Maya smiled. That's how it should be everywhere. Olivia nodded. Someday it will be. We're going to change things. Olivia barely slept that night. By morning, she knew what she had to do. After dropping Maya at school, she went straight to Gregory's office. I need to talk to you privately, she said, closing the door behind her. Gregory looked up from his desk, concern crossing his face. What's wrong? I think someone is giving our research to Draxon. Olivia connected her secure drive to his computer and showed him the hidden folder. Gregory's expression hardened as he examined the files. How did you find this? By accident. I was organizing data to share with Keith and found the folder. Keith. Gregory's voice was quiet. Did he see you discover this? I think so. He came in while I was looking at it. Gregory was silent for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, he smiled. You did exactly the right thing bringing this to me. But the situation isn't what you think. He pressed a button on his desk. Kira, Keith, can you join us, please? Minutes later, Kira and Keith entered the office. Keith looked at the screen showing the hidden folder and then at Olivia. She found it, Gregory explained. Keith nodded. I told you she was smart. Olivia looked between them, confused. What's going on? Gregory leaned forward. Keith isn't betraying us. He's feeding Draxon carefully designed misinformation, with my full knowledge and approval. Misinformation? The files look real, Keith explained. They contain just enough truth to be believable, but the critical elements are modified to lead Draxon down dead ends. Kira smiled. It's our best defense. While they waste time following our fake research paths, we make real progress. Olivia's mind raced. Then you knew all along that someone at Draxon had approached Keith? Gregory nodded. They tried to recruit several of us when we started competing with them. Keith pretended to accept their offer. For 3 years, he's been our double agent. But yesterday, when you saw me looking at the folder, Olivia turned to Keith. I wanted to see if you'd report it or try to handle it yourself, Keith admitted. It was a test and you passed by coming directly to Gregory. Relief washed over Olivia, followed by a new concern. What happens now? Draxon will realize they've been tricked when we release our working delivery system. That's where we need your help, Gregory said, pulling up a calendar. The Interspecies Medical Conference is next week. Both we and Draxon are scheduled to present our progress. Kira continued. Draxon plans to announce their breakthrough based on the fake data Keith provided. We'll be ready to demonstrate our actual working system. The timing is critical, Gregory added. Once they realize they've been misled, they'll come after us hard. We need to be ready. How can I help? Olivia asked. You'll present our work, Gregory said simply. You created the temperature adaptation breakthrough. You should introduce it to the scientific community. Olivia's mouth fell open. Me? But there will be alien scientists from all over the galaxy there. Exactly, Kira said. The same aliens who wouldn't hire you. Now they'll see what they missed. The next few days were a blur of preparation. Olivia worked long hours refining her presentation while the team prepared a working demonstration of the universal vaccine delivery system. Maya noticed her mother's excitement. Is something big happening at work? Yes, Olivia explained. I'm going to give a talk about our project at a big conference. Many important scientists will be there. Even aliens? Especially aliens. Maya thought for a moment. Will they be mad that you're smarter than them? Olivia laughed. I'm not smarter than them. We just think differently. Because you're a mom? That's part of it. Being your mom taught me to look at problems in new ways. The night before the conference, the Grand Hall of the Interspecies Medical Conference buzzed with activity. Representatives from 17 different alien species mingled with the smaller human contingent. Olivia stood backstage, taking deep breaths to calm her nerves. You've got this, Gregory said, adjusting the portable demonstration unit. Remember, you know more about this technology than anyone in that room. Olivia nodded, checking her simple blue suit one more time. The alien presenters wore elaborate ceremonial garments that cost more than she earned in a month. She had chosen professional human attire instead. The first 3 presentations went by quickly. When Draxon's chief scientist, a tall Centaurian with gleaming silver skin, took the stage, the Terran Solutions team watched carefully. As promised, Draxon Corporation has developed a universal vaccine delivery system, the alien announced proudly. Our proprietary technology allows vaccines to be administered across species barriers. The demonstration began, and Keith leaned close to Olivia. Watch what happens, he whispered. On the large display screen, the Draxon nanobots appeared to function perfectly in the first test environment. But when the temperature changed to match Xeraxian physiology, the system began to fail. The nanobots melted away. Confusion spread across the Centaurian's face. There seems to be a technical issue. Let us proceed to the next demonstration. But each test failed in different ways. The audience began to murmur. Olivia could see the Draxon executives huddled in urgent conversation. Terran Solutions, you're up next, the conference moderator announced. Olivia walked onto the stage, her heart pounding but her head high. She glanced once at the crowd, spotting Maya and Judy sitting in the back row. Gregory had arranged special permission for them to attend. Good morning, Olivia began. I am Olivia Martinez, lead researcher on temperature adaptation for Terran Solutions. She launched into her presentation, explaining the challenges of creating a delivery system that could function across radically different alien physiologies. The audience listened politely but skeptically. Then came time for the demonstration. Olivia activated the unit, and the display showed their nanobots entering the first test environment. Our system first calibrates to the host body temperature, she explained. The nanobots functioned perfectly. When the temperature changed to Xeraxian levels, the audience tensed, expecting failure like the Draxon demonstration. Instead, the nanobots smoothly reconfigured. As you can see, the adaptive lipid shell responds to temperature changes without breaking down, Olivia continued. She ran through all 5 test environments successfully. The room fell silent, then erupted in excited conversation. Even the Draxon executives were staring in astonishment. During the question period, a Xeraxian scientist stood, How did humans solve a problem that has confounded our best minds for decades? Olivia smiled. By thinking differently. Alien research focuses on stability in controlled environments. But as a parent, I learned that adaptability is more important than stability. Children constantly change, and you must adapt with them. Alien blinked all four eyes in confusion. You credit offspring rearing with scientific breakthrough? Yes. The very thing your companies rejected me for, being a single mother, gave me the perspective to solve this problem. As the session ended, representatives from multiple alien corporations surrounded Olivia. The Arcturian who had rejected her months ago didn't recognize her, but eagerly offered a research partnership. Gregory appeared at her side. Dr. Martinez isn't available for recruitment, he told the aliens firmly. But Terran Solutions is open to collaboration with those who respect our work methods. Later at the company celebration, Gregory clinked his glass against Olivia's. To our new Chief of Research. Chief of Research? Olivia nearly spilled her drink. But I've only been here a few months, and you've revolutionized our approach. The board approved it this morning along with the expansion plans. Expansion? Gregory smiled. We're opening a new research center with a bigger childcare facility and a program to recruit more single parents into science careers. Maya, eating cake nearby, looked up. Does that mean more kids like me at work? Exactly, Gregory said. Your mom showed everyone that being a parent makes her a better scientist, not a worse one. Olivia looked around at her team, her daughter, and the future she'd never dared hope for. From no one hiring the single mom to changing how aliens see humans. Not bad for 6 months' work. Gory called a final team meeting. Everyone gathered in the main lab, charged with nervous energy. Tomorrow everything changes, Gregory said. Draxon will realize they've been following false leads. The alien corporations will see that human-run companies can compete at their level, and most importantly, will introduce a technology that can help every species in the galaxy. He raised a glass in toast. To Terran Solutions, and especially to Olivia Martinez, who proved that sometimes the person no one will hire becomes the person no one can do without.